Hey, what's up? My name is Daoud Heidami. I am a real estate agent, co-founder, and principal of the Catalyst team at Compass. And welcome to a New York conversation where we speak with notable New Yorkers about their New York. Our goal is to also support our small businesses. So we'll discuss them, we'll tag them, and repost them in our in this interview. So today's special guest is Heather Randall. Heather has been an executive director and served on many boards of many theaters, including the National Actors Theater and New York Theater Workshop, where we met. And she also runs the Tony Randall Theatrical Foundation. So, without further ado, I am Heather on. Hi, Tony! To join us. Let's see here. Hello!
Hi, Daoud. How are you?
I'm good. What's up? It's been so long. I miss your face.
I miss you, but I'm happy to see you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shout out to all my friends that just texted me saying they were going to ask really naughty things. Thanks.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yes. We will make sure.
I have such good friends.
So Heather, how did we meet?
Barrett! Jeremy Blocker. We've got a whole New York Theater Workshop thing going.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Tony Barzin, what's up? Tom Gold, Heather
That's
Randall,
my friend from New York City,
is a
LA.
legend. An absolute legend. So that's where we met, Heather, right? We met at New York Theater Workshop.
Yes. So I was president of the board at the time. This was about 2008 or 9, and we did a show that is possibly the one I am most proud of. It was called Aftermath by Jessica Blank and Eric Jensen, and it was about the Iraqi refugees after the United States invaded. And
Yes.
I met some of my very favorite humans on that show, and you, Rasha, Demo, and also it was just something to be really proud of. We were presenting voices that would not have been heard otherwise.
Yeah, being a part of it was an absolute. It is one of those shows that forever will stick with me, probably for the rest of my life. And you're right, we made some really incredible connections. A lot of really amazing people doing that show. So you tend to find yourself in these special circumstances where you have a recipe for success. Can you share with us a little bit of those secrets? What are your recipes?
Recipe for success?
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to quote Jim Nicola. What did he say? Chewing gum and bullshit. You put it together. I have no idea. Recipe for success is just do it.
Yeah. So just jump in and not be a perfectionist.
Yeah. Just take a breath and go.
I love it. I love it. So that being said, New York is your place. Why?
Okay, so I moved to New York in, I think, 89 or 90. I went to NYU for acting at Tisch. And the whole thing was like, how do I move to New York City and get my parents to pay for it? And I never left. I love it. I cook.
You cook?
I do cook.
And where were your folks?
Florida, Boca Raton, Florida.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was your time at NYU?
It was the absolute best. The absolute best. It was so much fun to be there. It was so great. Thank you, Parson. It was so great to just be living in New York City, to just walk the streets, feed off the energy. You know, you can be who you are in New York. Yeah. And that was so exhilarating.
Yeah. Did you stay at the dorms, or did you stay in a share with roommates?
So I was in the apartment style housing, which is on Union Square. And that was really cool because there's that fantastic farmers market. And then also all the protests are right there.
Yes.
And my first summer there, people of a certain age watching will remember Wigstock. Do you remember
Wingstop.
Wigstock? It used to be in Tompkins Square Park. It was like the original drag festival. And that
Yes.
also, my first year, it was at Union Square. So this was like an amazing experience. Like I had just gone to another planet.
That's amazing. Do you remember? Do you remember what whatever your rent was for that housing?
So I don't, well, because my parents paid for that, but yes, that is correct. Union Square, that was Union Square before like the Whole Foods and all the stuff. It's when it was actually a slightly scary place to be.
Yeah, you have to deal with the Trader Joe's. Yes.
Exactly. So my first apartment when I got out of college was 82nd in Amsterdam. It was a fifth floor walk up. It was a 4-bedroom railroad apartment.
Oh my
And
God.
I think my room was 10 by 10. We all shared a bathroom and it was $500 a month.
Oh,
But it was on 82nd in Amsterdam.
all the way on the east side.
No,
Where-
west.
Oh, Amsterdam, right.
Amsterdam.
82nd in Amsterdam. That's really great. So
I
fifth
know.
floor walk, and your portion was only $500?
Yeah. It was a really crappy apartment. But it was on the Upper West Side.
That's all that mattered. That's
Exactly.
so so do you have a favorite New York corner?
Yes, thank you for sending me the pre-questionnaire because I got thinking about it. And actually, where
Okay.
I live now, I live on 66th and Broadway. My apartment looks into Juilliard. And the reason I bought there is I love the energy of that exact spot. You've got Lincoln Center, you've got the Juilliard School, you've got ABC Television, you've got the LaGuardia School, you've got these adorable girls walking around with duck feet from the ballet, and you've got people carrying their violins and fantastic, energetic young people from LaGuardia. And it's just a perfect recipe for New York energy right there.
Yeah, it is totally a hub of creative energy, and I love what they've done at Lincoln Center. The grass.
Oh,
like,
that is so cool.
that is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, for people that don't know, they put down this like AstroTurf thing on the plaza of, yay, LaGuardia. Not that I went there, but I think it's like an incredible New York institution, LaGuardia High School for Performing Arts. So many people have come out of there. I did dinner recently. It's a little name droppy, sorry, but with Ben Vereen and Danny Burstein, and they were going on about how they had gone to LaGuardia and what an incredible place it was. So, yes, there's some amazing people that have come out of there.
Awesome place. And so tell me a little bit more about. So you originally came to New York from NYU to go to. How was like your audition process? And did you like travel into town? What was that like?
Oh, so my mother brought me up to audition for NYU, and the woman who auditioned me was really mean. And I cried afterwards because I was absolutely certain I didn't get in. And then I did, and whatever.
Wow. Did you have like a callback process, or did they send you?
No, you just had to. So I actually had to stay home in Florida for a year because I had not a great GPA. So I went to local college in Florida, and then I came up. No, you just did an audition, you applied, and you got in or didn't. I guess I had decent enough grades and chewing gum and bullshit.
That's amazing. And how long did it take you to acclimate to the city?
A couple of weeks. I remember this was before smartphones, so I would study the subway map before I would go out and get on the train because I was so terrified. But I got sharp elbows pretty fast. I'll tell you another thing for the pretty young women. One thing you learn really quickly is how to dress in New York. Because I came from Florida, I was wearing mini skirts and high-heeled pumps, and I learned really quickly that was, not that fun. Although I kind of still wear mini skirts and high-heeled pumps. Now it's with attitude.
I love it. Have you lived in other parts of New York, or has it been mostly where you live now?
I have since NYU, I've always lived on the Upper West Side. I lived 82nd in Amsterdam. Then with my late husband, Tony Randall, we lived in the Beresford on 81st and Central Park West, which was incredible.
Yeah.
And now I live by Lincoln Center. So that's
Yeah.
my whole home life.
Amazing. And I find myself always gravitating towards parks. So I lived in Brooklyn for quite some time and was right by Prospect Park. And then now I moved to Hudson Heights, right by Fort Tryon.
Oh, cool.
Which is like, and I can't even tell you how amazing it was to have a park to get through COVID and to be able to walk around. But what were some of the ways you and the family were handled and were having?
So my kids, my oldest, Julia, had just graduated college, so she was living home. My son was in his senior year at Wesleyan, so he had to come home.
Jefferson?
We were not, Jefferson! Yes. So we were not happy campers, but I think what saved me was taking very long walks in Central Park, to your point.
Yeah.
And one of the things I discovered after living here for 30 years is there's like that whole stand of oak trees kind of right behind Sheep's Meadow. If you know what I'm talking, it's where people roller skate.
Yeah.
There are all these statues there of great artists. And I never noticed it before. I've always been so busy getting somewhere. And during COVID, I had time to really walk around the park. And I can't even remember who right now, but great musicians and writers, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the Shakespeare Gardens right behind the Delacorte that's got all these little plaques with quotes from Shakespeare and their their corresponding plants. That's Shakespeare. The Shakespeare Garden is probably the most beautiful hidden treasure in New York City.
The Shakespeare Garden, yes. You know, I got married at the New York Conservatory Garden.
Oh.
It's a truly magical place.
So is that the Bronx or Brooklyn?
No, in Central Park at the.
Oh, the Rose Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been gorgeous.
It was amazing. One of, I think about like what are some of your like magical New York spots, and for me that is probably one of those. Do you have one?
Well, I think I just named them, and then I also have to say, Princess and Me, my other magical New York spot is Bergdorf Goodman.
I love you.
There was a movie called Scatter My Ashes at Bergdorf Goodman, and I live by that. That's what I want. If I die prematurely, scatter me outside of Bergdorf Goodman, Nobu 57, the Belasco Theater, the Lyceum Theater.
Yes, I love this. So part of this, and I told you a little bit about this over the phone, but a big part of why this all sort of started was to support our small businesses, right? And you just named some of those businesses. We'll repost this. We'll tag them. Hopefully, give all the love and support. So those are some of your small businesses. Yes. Do you have any other you want to?
Oh yes. Well, yeah. I was thinking I could not have this conversation without naming Zabar's, because I live there basically, and it's the same people working there for the last 30 years that I've been going. It's the same. They must pay really well and have like a good union position or something, because it's the same people. Yeah. I walk in, they're like, Heather. I order my pound of Nova, and I always feel good afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes. My friend Mike says Sushi by M, which is this tiny sushi spot next door to New York Theater Workshop. It seats like 12 people, and there's this fantastic guy, M, who just creates a big party and makes amazing sushi.
Wow. Is this after the New York Theater, after?
Oh, yeah. I think he's only been there a few years.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I think he's moved to East 5th Street. So he's a little farther down on 5th Street. But if you just Google Sushi by M, it's amazing sushi. It's a really good price. And he's a super cool guy.
I love it. I love that Bergdorf is your special.
With what?
Love that
Oh,
Bergdorf.
Bergdorf's. I mean, what do you want? It's me.
It just makes me so happy. I love it so much.
I'll tell a story about that. After Tony passed away, I was dating this guy, and he was like a Wall Street hedge fund guy, like a well-off guy.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with him one morning, and I walked into Bergdorf Goodman, and a salesperson there said, "Good morning, Mrs. Randall." And I said, "Good morning." And this man I was dating said, "Where are you?" And I said, "Bergdorf's." And he took a breath and he said, "I can't afford you."
Oh my God, that's a great story.
What else do I love? Oh, well, also, speaking of Bergdorf's, the John Barrett Salon, which used to be on the top floor of Bergdorf's and is now in their own location on 57th Street. He's right across from the Four Seasons Hotel. But John Barrett is one of my favorite New York people. He is a celebrity hairstylist. He does all kinds of people like Martha Stewart and Hillary Clinton. You go in there and there's like Secret Service everywhere because Hillary Clinton's getting her hair done.
Wow.
And he basically hosts a cocktail party. It's not just a hair salon. I mean, he doesn't actually serve alcohol, but it feels like a cocktail party.
Yeah.
And he's a wonderful person.
It sounds like it's an event.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Awesome. So before we go, I want to play a fun game. We're going to play a fun word association where we talk about, I'm going to say a word about New York, and I want to hear what fun thing you have to say about it. Okay?
Okay.
There's no wrong answer.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you some softballs. Central Park.
Shakespeare in the Park.
I love that. Which, by the way, is happening very soon. I believe the first show is Merry Wives of Windsor. I could be wrong.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. So that's happening in August. So that's something to. It's a great outdoor support New York kind of event where it's all outdoors. So what a great delicious. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, it's Merry Wives. Yes.
Merry Wives.
Barzin. Are you in it, Barzin?
Yeah, are you in it? That's a good. Oh, it's already better. Have you seen it? Are you in it?
Yay! I'm glad it's happening.
Amazing. This is the resilience of New York and New Yorkers. Isn't this amazing?
Yay.
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Tourists.
Angry Elmos.
Angry what?
Times Square. I just think of Times Square and Angry Elmos.
Tom Gold says Heather is the merry wife.
Yes. Except I'm not married, but.
Okay, so favorites here. Bar, restaurant.
Okay. Sushi by M, I said. Il Buco, which is in the East Village. Not far. Il Buco.
Okay.
I-L, new word, B-U-C-O. It's an amazing Italian Mediterranean restaurant. It's been there forever.
Awesome.
Le Gigot. It's a tiny French bistro in the West Village. It seats probably 12 people, and it's great classic French fare.
Ooh, say that name.
Le Gigot. Gigot.
Oh, amazing. I have to check that.
It's so good. It's just like beef bourguignon and escargot, and just good classic French food.
Delicious. Park.
Park?
Favorite park? Not Central.
Oh, you know what? I really have a great fantasy. I have never done it, but love Gramercy Park, and I wish I could get a key and go in there.
Ooh. What do you need to get a key?
You have to own a property on that park.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense. Subway line.
Well, I was going to say the A train just because that's easy. Well, I live over the one, and I like the one. It takes me where I need to go. It gets me to Times Square. It gets me down to the West Village.
Brunch spot.
One girl. Brunch spot. Okay. Okay, number one pet peeve about New York City. People that wait a half an hour to an hour to sit down to eat brunch. So the answer is I don't have one.
Oh, I love that answer.
It's the stupidest thing.
I'm guilty of it way back when, but no more. No more.
But if I had to pick one, it would be Good Enough to Eat on the Upper West Side. That's just a good, solid breakfast place.
That's funny you say that, Heather, because that is the place where I've waited 30 minutes.
Exactly.
What about a coffee shop?
Ooh. Oh, I'll give another great shout out because this is just a great classic diner around the corner from me is Old John's Diner. It is a great diner. I meet my friend Michael Miller there once every few months, and it's just one of those great old-fashioned diners. So I don't know if the coffee, it's just brewed coffee. You're not getting a cappuccino there, but it's great.
That's awesome. Okay, yes, I love the eggs migas. Eggs migas. That's good enough. Okay, I have three more, then we're gonna wrap it up.
All right.
To take a tourist.
The Frick.
What's the Frick?
Museum. The Frick Museum on 71st and 5th. It was owned by one of those robber barons of the turn of the century, but it's 3 Vermeers in that museum and the best Rembrandt, in my opinion, the best Rembrandt in the world. It's a self-portrait.
Wow, another place I have not been.
They're currently renovating, so they're in that old Whitney Museum space on 75th and Mad, but the Frick.
The Frick, love it. Speakeasy cocktail spot.
Bar Central for all the theater people. That's where you go after theater.
Yes. And last but not least, weirdest New York sighting.
I mean, weirdest New York sighting. Oh my God.
And just walking.
There's just too many. I don't know. I mean, I remember once being in a taxi with Tony, who was a great actor, and there was a woman, she walked in front of the cab and she was bent over double. And she was like a homeless person or something. And she looked in the cab and she kind of made this face. And Tony said, if you did that on stage, people would call you a ham actor. That's what I love about New York. If you imitate that, you really, it seems so over the top, but it exists.
Yes, yes.
There's been so many, though.
You just described one of the things that I love most about New York is that every walk of life is you walk outside. And there was something really wonderful and magical in when people started getting walked outside and all of a sudden started hearing people arguing and yelling at each other in broad public, and you're like, oh, New York is back.
New York is back. Exactly. Exactly.
So thank you for sharing that story. Heather, you're such a light, and I can't think how amazing you are and wonderful, and I thank you for sharing your New York with us, because I love you very much.
I have 2 final things to say. New York is not going anywhere. You cannot become a great fashion designer or a rap music artist or, a great advertising person from your parents' garage in Nebraska. You have to be in New York. So that's ridiculous. That's number 1. And number 2, if we had elected Cynthia Nixon, none of this would have happened. I leave you with that.
What great ending words. Heather, I love you. Thank you.
I love you, Daoud.
Bye.
You
guys, bye, Heather. You guys, thank you for joining us. This happens every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., where we're going to continue our series, The New York Conversation. If you don't live in New York, come visit us. If you do live in New York, support your local small businesses, because that's what we do, right? We're New Yorkers. We support each other. So until next time, we'll see you 7 p.m. Love you. Bye.